going to make a video for our group. Yes.
Yeah.
So just a video about the process and our.
This is our cameraman.
Very sad. Our last briefing. Yeah.
4 months worth.
Yes, I can't wait to see it.
For my first experiment this week, I tried to imitate an emboss technique without actually going to the 3D workshop. So I tried an adhesive spray, which I got from Silkscreen Workshop, to glue 2 pieces of fabric together, leaving my hand imprint on it. Since the previous method didn't work, I'm using spider net to try and glue this in sections. The bottom fabric is still sticky from using adhesive spray. Option 2 also failed because I could not quite control where the spider net was. Делаешь?
Я смотрю, созерцаю. Я родилась
Телец.
в воскресенье буддийский день по тайскому календарю.
Ага.
Вот, и это, короче, Будда созерцатель. По-моему, те, кто родились во вторник, они не могут не работать всю жизнь. Это процесс.
Because it didn't quite fit, I'm going to have to move it till this section to print on top of, and then that section as well. The problem is that if I move this upwards, all the rest, which I've already printed, is going to have to be printed second time, and it's going to be a bit more vibrant than the rest of it, so I'm going to probably have to flip it around without print moving, so I'm going to have to pin those together. Options for stiffening the fabric, and I really don't like this one for the spots it gave me, but we'll see how it dries. So this is a mixture of starch and water. It's 1 part starch and 4 parts water. Then this is a mixture of gelatin with water, 1 tablespoon of gelatin to 100 milliliters of water. Then a mixture number 3 is just a mixture of those two, 40 to 60. And this is also the same mixture as the previous one, but I tried to stiffen up the mesh jersey over plastic box. We'll see how that turns out. It keeps the shape a little bit, but it's still quite soft and flimsy. It's not that bad, because if I make an imprint and it's still soft, it's quite workable. The only problem is that it leaves a white residue, which actually is cleanable. We'll see. So this might work. are a bit more malleable, but this one is not fully dry yet. I'm gonna have to leave it to dry, and it keeps the shape. It's a little bit glossy now that it's dry. Since my fabric adhesive experiment did not quite work, and to be fair, this may have been the wrong kind of adhesive, this specific one is typically used in silkscreen to spray your fabric and then glue it to cardboard to later have a bit of an easier time silkscreening the thing. But I didn't want to go and purchase a specific fabric spray, so I decided to go to the plaster workshop. The guys at silkscreen suggested I make a mold of my own hand and then later press my fabrics into it, and because I've already explored different possibilities to stiffen the fabric, I felt that this was a logical transition, so this was what I did. Slab took a couple of days to dry, so I used foil just in case to protect it from my fabric. I soaked the fabric in the gelatin solution. Then I put some plastic with some dried peas to weigh it down and left it overnight to dry. We just presented our work on an Insights Day. How are you feeling?
6 hours of tutorials, then 2 hours of presentation. I'm feeling like today at night I'm gonna dreaming about my project and speaking, like presenting something in my mind.
Yeah. Insights Day was a day when just random potential students come in and then we share what we've done. So Elisa presented her work, Annie presented her work, I did a little, I was just speaking super fast, as always. How on earth do you still have energy? Are you on your last bits of energy?
Just 2 seconds.
Now dead. Okay, bye bye. Right from the morning, I was not planning on staying in longer than 3 hours, so I knew I was not going to finish my lino piece in one day. I just took it home because Masha had so kindly lent me her lino cut tools, and I knew that I was going to finish it during the weekend, so that was what I did. Cutting everything out, I was kind of jokingly saying, imagine if I have a typo, and there is a typo, you can clearly see it even now if you mirror the thing. So I am fine with it because my project is kind of jokey and I was expecting to kind of cross things out and write on top of them, and I do have the ability to do that in my project. It's quite flexible and it does go that direction, so it makes sense in the research. But imagine if it didn't. Imagine if I cut the whole thing out, I made a typo and I would have had to fix it somehow. our Wednesday script, I was given a suggestion to play around with pleats a little bit more, so I decided to make a second pleating board with a bit more frequent pleats and shorter ones. Because I wanted to play around with those in the body, I knew that I wanted to have some variety with pleats, so I can always skip a pleat. I can do a very specific pleating method, skipping multiples, so I just decided to make them very frequent, very regular, and then just skip them if I wish. This second pleating board I made was a bigger pain in the ass than the first one. First one took me only about like 20 minutes to make from start to finish. It was not difficult at all. This one, because the pleats are so frequent and because the material I used is kind of relatively thin, it was such a pain in the ass, honestly. At least I'm so happy I don't have to do it again, but there is a good chance that I'm gonna have to make another pleating board at some point if this one breaks, or if I choose to change the width or the shape of the pleats. This is how my semester will be started, and there's a lot more to come because it is getting a bit more intense and more interesting every day when I'm working in the studio, so stay tuned if you're interested. Thank you for watching. Bye!